Real quick, I was telling you about how you can do the slants with the eyebrows and stuff and how that changes the personality. It does the same thing with eyes. If you do an eye and it's slanty and it looks like Charizard's eye. This person looks angry. You know, if they have pointy eyes, they look angry. And this one doesn't look as angry, but you know, if you put the little eyebrow, they look more like a guy and they look determined and slightly, you know, arrogant or something. You know, it's pointy. Pointy things, pointy emotions. And then if you draw them kind of sad looking, and then you draw a droopy eye, they look calmer, you know? Oh look, we just drew Quill. Hair can influence the personality too. Like if you have straight, calm hair, you know, the character is probably very calm and relaxed and smooth and whatever. If you have spiky hair exploding all over the place, the character might be considered spiky and exploding all over the place. So when you're making up a character, like with me, I like to think of their personality first and then start putting stuff in. Like if I'm specifically designing a character for like a specific person, like I want to have an evil guy, I have to think about his personality first and then start making him look whatever. But sometimes I'll just draw something, I go, that just looks right, that looks good, and then I make the personality off of that. So it's usually one or the other. But I would say, like, especially if you're just beginning, you don't have a good feel for this. Stupid cat on the camera. You don't have a good feel for this, so it would be good for you to think about what you want and then consciously go about doing it and mimicking other people's drawings and looking at other people's drawings, and then your vocabulary will grow and you'll just start doing it automatically. Like when you learn a new language or a new math problem or something, you start out and you're going, oh God, I don't know what I'm doing, where's my dictionary or my textbook? And then after a while you're like, this is easy, yeah, want me to help you with your homework? So yeah. Someone else asked about poses, and when I do poses they just kind of pop into my head. Again, over and over, I keep saying this because it is so true, but I look at so much and so things just pop into my head. I've noticed some of them, I'll draw something, I'll go, yeah, that looks awesome, then I realize it's right off of something I've seen, and I'm like, oh God. So like I had one where I drew a character, or a person, it was actually a stick figure, but it was like this, and this was their back. I had them with their arm out. It was something like this, and then I realized that in Battle Angel Alita they did a pose almost exactly like this, and she's pointing and saying something. I think she was talking to Kairula, I don't know, but it was in their Zot tournament. But I was like, oh man, copied something accidentally. And then I was also thinking the person is a cyborg, and I was like, oh. But so you know, the more you look at, the better. Like you might look at a skater. And their feet are bent so you don't see them. Okay, so that's, you know, a skateboarder or something. You know, they have like a skateboard here or snowboard and they're going against something, you know, so they're on it. But then you could do this, pretend the board's not there, and then just put their legs down here or something. It's a bad leg. But do like that, and now they're standing weird, like they're sneaking behind something. So you can look at real stuff, real pictures, and just stick them in your head. Just try to remember them, or even just, you see a picture and you go, oh my God, that's so cool. Oh, stick figure, quick, stick figure. And then just get ideas like that. And then later you go in and you make it look awesome. Later, like you make a big one. And then if I'm doing a really weird pose, like if I'm just drawing something like this, I might not even do all the lines and stuff. I might just go in and start drawing. But like I told you, I've had so much practice, and I'm still not perfect. I still screw things up all the time. So you might want to practice using these, and you got to be careful because you can make your stuff look really stiff if you rely on these too much. So you can't just draw them and then blindly follow them. You have to draw them and then think about what you're doing as you do it. And let's see. So, but if I have like a really weird pose, like if I want to draw someone from right above, That's a really weird pose. Okay, so I drew, I don't know if you saw it all, but I drew the head, I did the shoulders, and I felt out the arm. And I knew it was going to do something like get smaller, but you can't just draw a triangle. You have to think of it in circles and stuff, because your body is made of, the arms are kind of like weird cylinders. So if you just draw triangles, they get flat and they look weird, and that might be your style. Maybe you purposely want to do it, but if you're not trying to do that, don't draw triangles. You gotta draw it like circles. Like you're making a mannequin in your head. And then I drew the stomach comes out, and then I drew where the hips are, and then I drew the legs coming out. And then I knew the feet stick out. I added this arm. So if I did a weird pose like this, I do this, I'd use the lines, maybe do some guidelines on the face if I'm doing something weird. Start drawing stuff. Okay? And then another really weird pose is when you draw contortionists. And those, it's good to practice from pictures first. You might have a head and a neck, and then they have the rib cage, and all of a sudden this little bit of back comes up. You can't really bend this part here because the rib cage is attached. But they have this little tiny bit in the back, and then there's the hip. And then their legs will be like all the way over here, and you're going, oh my god, the person's broken. And then their arms will come out and hold their legs. And then you go in and you start adding body to it. Like when I do really weird poses, I'll do the stick figure-y skeleton first, because if you draw the chunky things, they don't always get that right. Like here you have the ribs and the hips, and then you kind of lose a lot of the stomach and it just gets kind of flat. But yeah, these get really scribbly and messy, so like you don't want to do one of these and then walk away for too long, because you might forget what your brain was doing. You also, if you're drawing on the computer or something, you want this on one layer in like a lighter color, and then on another layer go in again with a darker color and do all the clothes and stuff, because if you do it all of a sudden, like here, it's lost. Like you guys can't see it. And if you wanted to line art that, you can't see it, so you have to do it on another layer in a darker color. And then on another layer, you do your line art. And then use as many layers as you want if you have a program that can do layers. Because they're there, why not use them? Okay. See, you want to talk about mouths? Some mouths, you can just do a line. Some people will put a lip. It's just a bottom lip. Some will do bottom lip and a top lip. You can draw big lips, especially if you make the mouth look smaller, by drawing rounded lines. It looks funny. And then depending on your style, it will look different. Like some people will draw little triangle mouths, a little tongue in it. Meanwhile, I usually don't. I'll put like a curve to it, because as you get more used to drawing, it's easier to do the organic shapes like a curve than it is when you first start. When you first start, you want it all straight lines, not organic, geometric, perfect circles, and as you get used to it, you're more able to do the looser styles, because, you're more able to, like, compensate for it, and, like, keep it looking nice without it getting too blobby, unless you want it blobby. But yeah, so mouths, they can be straight and stuff, or curved. You can have different styles of teeth. Like if you draw the teeth and you don't put much detail, okay, that's nice. If you show like the canine tooth, that's looking more like an animal. Guys do that. In anime, they give the guy the tooth, but the girl usually won't have that unless she's being really, I don't know, arrogant or something. Isn't there a character who has a tooth that sticks out like, hee hee? I don't know. What else do I have written down? Oh yeah, I want to do chibis. Alright, next video.